Hello. Thank you so much for joining us for week number 25 of Live with Annie. We are excited to have you here with us. Last week we shared ideas for a variety of home deck patterns, focusing on projects to decorate and organize your home. If you missed the presentation, remember that you can watch it on our Facebook page or on our YouTube channel. Or, even easier, you can find it at our website. Just go to ByAnnie.com/live, L-I-V-E, to find the current episode and all of our past episodes too. You'll even find a chat feature there. To thank everyone for joining us last week, we put together a fun kit to make a set of Contain Yourself bins. It included the pattern, soft and stable, and some beautiful fabric from Timeless Treasures and Keepsake Quilting. The winner of the giveaway was Kathy Blaylock. Kathy has confirmed her address and everything is on the way to her. Happy stitching, Kathy. Again, last week we concentrated on projects to decorate the home. With vaccinations in full swing and the 4th of July just around the corner, this week we are going to get you out of the house and having fun. So we're going to focus on some ByAnnie patterns for projects to take to picnics, parties, and potlucks. We've picked some really fun projects. Carriers in a variety of sizes for picnics and potlucks, a couple of quick ideas for party decorations and favors, and 2 ways to carry wine or other beverages and glasses to a party or get-together. Let's get started. One of my very favorite patterns, which is perfect for carrying cakes, pies, salads, casseroles, and more to parties, potlucks, and get-togethers, is Potluck Pals. This pattern includes instructions for carriers in 2 styles, a rectangular casserole cover and a round pie carrier. ByAnnie's Soft and Stable gives these carriers great body and stability and adds a bit of insulation too. Each carrier has handles with a padded grip that fastens in the middle for safe and easy carrying, as well as a place to insert a base stabilizer for extra stability. Again, the pie carrier is perfect for pies, but it can also carry cakes, cupcakes, salads, or casseroles. It's designed for round pans up to 10 inches in diameter. I had pies and cakes in mind when I designed it, but I'm going to open this so you can see that it also works well for casseroles. So in this one I have a round 2-quart glass pan with a lid, and that fits inside really well too. There is a sleeve in the bottom of the carrier that will hold a base stabilizer, and we recommend cutting that from Plaskolite corrugated plastic or foam core. In order to fit it in, you'll cut 2 half-circle pieces and slide those into the opening in the sleeve that's at the bottom. And the pattern does include instructions and templates for cutting all of the round pieces. Here's a little tip if you make the pie carrier. There is a zipper which is attached to a side strip, and that is then joined to a back strip. The ends of those are joined to make a loop, which is then attached to the lid and the base. When I designed the pattern, I designed it so that the handles would attach, one would attach close to the middle of that strip, the other would attach close to the ends of the side strip so that they'd straddle the back strip on the top. That enables the handles to close in the middle, and when you view the bag from the front, you'd grab it and carry it by the handles. As I was getting ready for today's presentation, I noticed that on this carrier, we've got the handles sewn on differently. So these, they were sewn 1 on each side. As you can see, the only real difference is that when you grab it from the side instead of the front, but either way works. So if you get confused on the instructions, know that all is not lost. So that is the pie carrier in Potluck Pals. This lid is a little bit big, so I've got to kind of maneuver around it with my zipper. All right, let's next show an up close of the casserole carrier. What's my favorite pie? My favorite pie is probably the lemon cream cheese one that they make at Crowshaw's, or Dutch apple pie. I like both of those, or blueberry. I'm actually not a real big pie maker because I'm not very good at pie crusts, so I usually opt for cakes instead, but all of those are good. Yeah, leave us a comment and tell us what your favorite pie is. We'd love to hear. All right, the casserole carrier is designed to carry rectangular pans up to 9 by 13. So you can see I've got a cake pan right here inside. It's nice having one with a lid so that whatever is in here doesn't get caught on that, but you could always put foil or plastic wrap over your pan too. It has a zippered pocket on the top, which is perfect for pot holders, utensils, napkins, other small items. And on the bottom is another zippered pocket. We primarily put this in so that you could put a base stabilizer in the carrier, and in here I used just a small cutting board, but you could put a piece of Plaskolite in there. You could skip that pocket entirely if you wanted to, but it's nice for holding hot pads and other small things. And then on the inside is a mesh pocket that we designed to hold a hot or cold pack or an ice pack. So this is a pack that you can either make hot or cold depending on what you're carrying in your casserole carrier, and it just slides into that little mesh pocket. Potluck Pals are perfect for potlucks, obviously, tailgating, family gatherings, or parties, but they'd also make a great wedding or a housewarming gift for anyone on your list. You can pick fabrics to blend with their decor or something really fun to make them smile. And Trevor's going to put a picture up on the screen. I love this really awesome casserole carrier that my Texas cousin Linda made. I think that stripe lining that she used is so very fun, and I love that it looks like it has rickrack added to it. And the owls just make me want to hoot. It will be perfect for carrying a dish to the family reunion, which is happening next month. I wish I could be there to join everyone, but send hugs to Linda, Cindy, and all. All right, I'm going to get this one out of our way, and we'll move on to the next after I grab a drink of water. If you are just joining us, we're talking today about projects for picnics, parties, and potlucks. We just showcased our Potluck Pals pattern, and those are perfect for tailgating and gatherings with family and friends. Let's see, I might wait and bring this one up when I'm ready to open it and show you this one first. So if you've got more to carry, Picnic in the Park has lots of room, plus plenty of interior and exterior pockets to keep everything organized and easy to access. It has handles with a padded grip as well for easy carrying by hand, but we also added an adjustable detachable strap so you can carry it over your shoulder. Once this is full, it can get pretty heavy, so having this extra strap makes it really nice for carrying it. And I wanted you to see that there are pockets on the front and on the back, none on the ends. So let's take a look inside this one. Move some of those out of the way. So this spacious basket will carry everything you need for a picnic. So we've got plates, smaller plates here. You can even put plates in here. We've added napkins in that pocket, cups, utensils, a tablecloth or quilt, matches for the grill, food, snacks, everything that you need. And everything is really easy to see and access. There are mesh pockets that go all around the interior bag in addition to all the pockets on the outside. One thing I wanted to mention, this is an older pattern and it was written before we had our own fold over elastic. So we designed it to use fabric to bind all of the pockets. If I did this, we did use fold over elastic on the one that goes right here, but if I made this pattern now, I would use fold over elastic for the bindings on all the inner mesh pockets. And I calculated it yesterday, a 2-yard package will be sufficient to do that. That would not only make binding quicker and easier, but the fold over elastic would stretch along with the mesh and help keep those pockets closed. Like Potluck Pals, Picnic in the Park also has a sleeve in the base on the inside, so you can insert a base stabilizer to keep the bottom stable. As you can see, the fabrics that you pick for this bag really make a difference in the finished appearance of this bag. So we made this bag using a fun camping themed fabric, and we got a very different look by using a big floral on that bag. Susan and Judy sent pictures in of some bags that they made, and they used some really colorful prints to make bags that are perfect for summer picnics. Susan wrote, "Judy and I get together several times a year to sew bags. Our favorite patterns are ByAnnie patterns. Although they often challenge and stretch us, they always come out so professional. I really do use all the ByAnnie bags we have made, and I love each one. Thank you for such well-written patterns. The add-on videos are especially helpful when they're available." It was really fun to see your beautiful Picnic in the Park bags, Susan and Judy, and I bet they are going to get some good use this summer. Finally, check out this fun Picnic in the Park that Judy M. made, using, what else? A fabric that looks like a basket. How fun is that? Judy submitted a picture of the bag to our contest last June and said, "My husband likes picnics and his 82nd birthday is coming up, so this will be a gift for his birthday. Even in these days of COVID, we will be able to head out for a picnic." Judy, I hope you are still enjoying picnics together with your awesome bag, and happy birthday to your husband. I really love how easy it is to carry and access everything that's inside Picnic in the Park, and I think these bags would be really handy for a lot of other uses too. I could see using this to carry yarn and your knitting projects, fabric and sewing supplies, toys, clothing, you name it. Leave a comment and let us know how you would use Picnic in the Park too. All right, I'm going to get this one out of the way and we're going to move on to a smaller bag. All right, if you want to just carry a small lunch or a snack, you'll love Grab Some Grub. This handy bag is perfect for carrying water and snacks to the pool. So we've got water, cookies, applesauce, and there's even a pocket inside for an ice pack to keep everything cold. You could pack one of these for each child, take them to the swimming pool, and let them be in charge of their own. And of course, they're also great for carrying lunch to the office or school. Put these back in here so we can focus on the bag. So Grab Some Grub features a padded handle at the top to make it easy to carry, and there's a border on the front. You can make that border using chalkboard fabric, as we did on here, or using a coordinating fabric. Either one works. The chalkboard fabric makes the perfect place to leave a note to brighten someone's day. On the back is a clear vinyl pocket that you can use to put someone's name in, or you could stick little notes in there as well. And the bags close with either a side release buckle, as we did here, or a D-ring and swivel hook, as we did on this bag. The pattern includes instructions for either type of hardware, and things are a little bit different because one takes up more room than the other. So pay careful attention and make sure that you're using hardware of the right size. So inside the bag, let's open this one up and take a look inside. So inside the bag is a mesh pocket that you can use to hold napkins and utensils or an ice pack. And as you can see, this bag is roomy enough to carry all the fixings for a hearty lunch. It even holds larger items such as thermoses and your reusable lunch cubes. The pattern includes instructions for two styles of tote, either one made with quilted fabric or one made without quilting. So if you don't always like to do quilting, this is a nice option. And if you aren't quilting, another thing that you can do is line the inside of the bag with slicker. That's an iron-on laminate, and it creates a wipe-clean interior. So you want to make sure that you're using the non-quilted version if you want to add the slicker. In addition to, I'll take all these out of here, but as you can see, it holds even the large size lunch cubes. It also, the pattern includes instructions for stitching some fold lines on the side of the bag, and the great thing about that is it enables you to fold the bag flat when it's empty, so it's easy to store or take home without all your food in it. We also got some fun pictures of these, and the first one I wanted to show is the one that Melody made. She sent pictures of a Grab Some Grub that she made for her husband to carry his lunch to work. And Melody said, "I really liked the detailed pattern instructions with the boxes to check off what was completed. The add-on video was very helpful as well. I made this for my husband with his favorite sports team fabric and modified it to include 2 places for pictures of our grandchildren so they can keep him company at work and he can show them off. I had never used slicker or mesh before and vinyl only once. It stretched my skills, but I was so glad to have made it. I gave it to him for Christmas and he really likes it." To protect her grandchildren's identities, Melody turned the pictures around, but you can see how she modified the pattern to include space for those pictures. So she did a larger pocket on the back and she added a vinyl pocket on the front. I really loved that idea, and I can just see her husband sharing pictures of his grandkids with all the guys at work. In addition to carrying snacks or a lunch, I can also see using Grab Some Grub for the kids to carry toys, games, and art supplies on a family road trip. Each person could have their own easily identifiable bag, and the amount of stuff they take would be limited. What other ways can you think of to use Grab Some Grub? Leave us a comment and let us know what you think. All right, I'm going to get these put away and we're going to move on to some party ideas. After I grab a drink of water. So if you're just joining us today, we're showcasing ideas for picnics, parties, and potlucks using ByAnnie patterns. We've just shown some ideas for picnics and potlucks. Let's talk next about a couple of quick and easy ideas for party decorations and favors. These are also quick and easy projects that would be perfect for keeping the kids entertained over summer break and teaching them some basic sewing skills. We'll start first with Petit baskets. So these little easy baskets are fun to make and a great way to use scraps of fabric and soft and stable. They're perfect for holding small items like candies and treats. They'd also work really well in the sewing room to put wonder clips and other spools of thread and small items. We really thought that this watermelon fabric made some fun baskets, and they'd be perfect for putting small items on the table at summer gatherings. Once you've mastered Petit baskets, you can move on to Contain Yourself, which was the pattern we showed last week for larger bins. They're made in much the same way, and once you've figured out how to make those and maybe made 1 or 2 according to the pattern instructions, the pattern also includes instructions for designing your own bins of any size. So I used the formulas that were in the pattern to make this custom basket to hold napkins on the picnic table. I made it to coordinate with my picnic in the park and my Potluck Pals, so I have a beautifully coordinated set. There are so many ways to use these soft-sided bins, and being able to design your own custom sizes makes them really extra fun. Here's another fun project that would be great to do with the kids this summer. And this one is not one with a pattern, but I'm going to explain to you how it works and let you have some fun. So this is a banner that we made using fabric scraps and soft and stable, and we made it to hang up on special days. So I'm not sure if you can see it, but we spelled out the word celebrate and figured that that would cover a whole slew of special occasions. But you could do it with a child's name, a team name, a holiday, or just colors of fabric, and use it however you want. So the first thing that you're going to do if you want to make a banner like this is decide on a size and shape for your pennants, and then cut those sizes from both fabric and soft and stable. To make this one extra quick, we used a triangle ruler and a rotary cutter to cut out everything. So we used a big variety of fabrics for the fronts, the same fabric for the back, and then we also cut out a layer of soft and stable for each because we wanted our pennant to be easy to read and not too floppy. So we cut out enough triangles to make the letters to spell celebrate, and then we picked a plain one for each end and we added an exclamation point. And for these on the ends, we fussy cut some fun fabrics to center some cupcakes in each of those. Next, we use the computer to make the letters to spell celebrate. And I wanted to show you some of that. So we picked a rounded, chunky font. The one I picked was called Cooper Black, and we enlarged it until it was the size we wanted. It takes a little trial and error to get the size. I started with a 200 point font, which would be too small on these. Then I tried one at 400 font size and decided that was way too big, so I went halfway in between and found that 300 points was just right. When I did the exclamation point, I made it a little bit bigger. I did it at 350 so that it would have a little more oomph to it. So there are several ways that you can applique these letters onto the pennants. For the ones that we made, we used fusible thread to quickly and easily applique them in place. And we have talked about that before. We do carry fusible thread on our website. This is the brand that we like to use. It's made by Superior Threads. It's called Charlotte's Fusible Web. When you look at this thread, it looks a little bit like dental floss, but it's many, many filaments of nylon thread that melts really easily. So we wound the fusible thread onto our bobbin. We put a smooth thread like So-Fine or Monopoly on top through the needle, and then we traced our letters onto the fabric. I'm going to show you with some hearts that I did, but you would cut out or just lay your fabric over that and use a light box to trace the letters, and then you're going to stitch inside that. So again, I've used Monopoly on top, I've used fusible thread on the bottom, and I've just stitched around the line that I marked. The next step is to cut that out right next to that line of stitching, as close to that line of stitching as you can, and then position that shape on your background. In this case, you'd be putting it on your pennant. Set your iron down on it. It takes about 10 seconds. Wiggle your iron a little bit. The bottom thread is going to melt, which is going to fuse your letter in place, and then you can pull away the top thread and you've got your letter fused in place, but there's no stiffness that you'd get from something like Wonder Under, and no threads to see. So next, after you've got that fused in place, then I like to put my soft and stable underneath the fabric and applique it in place. And on here we used a blanket stitch to go around each, and by having the soft and stable underneath, it gives us some good stability. It also makes those letters really nice and puffy. Had we done Wander Under or some other fusible product like that, those letters would look a lot stiffer. You wouldn't have that beautiful puffy look. And you can do that stitching with a satin stitch. You could do a straight stitch. You could even skip the stitching because you're probably not going to be washing this or handling it a lot. But I really love the look that blanket stitch gives, and it's quick and easy to do. If you prefer to use a fusible product like Wander Under, one thing that you need to know is that you have to print the letters as a mirror image. So you can't print them. I think I printed one where they're going backwards here. Let me look. Yeah, here. So just go into your settings for printing and make sure that you're printing them backwards so that when you trace it onto your Wander Under and fuse them in place, they'll read properly. So again, that's just a setting in all of your computer. Once you have all your letters stitched in place, then you're going to take your backing fabric, put that on the back of each of these. You're going to want that to be right side out. And then I just stitched a 1/4 inch from the edge all around each side. To pretty up the edges and make them nice and neat, we used a rotary cutter with a pinking blade. It's kind of like using pinking shears. If you have pinking shears, you could do those too, but the rotary cutter makes it really easy, and we just ran along the edges to trim them and also to keep the fabrics from fraying. The last step then is to attach a hanging strap. I'm just going to move this out of the way before I cut something that I don't want to cut. And then we'll talk about the strap. So to make the strap, I laid out all the pennants and figured how long I needed. I added some extra to the length so that I could hang it. And then I cut a strip of fabric that was 4 inches by that length. I probably had to join some strips to get the length that I needed. Take that strip, fold it in half so it's 2 inches by the length, then press it, which marks the center. Then bring the raw edges into the center crease and press again. Then turn your ends under to finish those. And then what we did is we just opened the strip, slid our pennants in all the way down, pinned them in place, and then stitched on top and bottom of our strip. So super simple and easy to do. And this banner is one I've used for lots of birthdays, graduations, and other special occasions, and it really always brightens the day. So I hope you'll have some fun making a colorful banner to celebrate the special events in your life too. The great thing about this too is when you go to put it away, it's easy to fold up and store, and it doesn't take up very much room, and it's always ready to go for the next occasion. If you're just joining us, we're talking today about ByAnnie projects for picnics, parties, and potlucks. We've talked about ways to carry food to get-togethers and some fun ways to make a banner or little baskets for treats. Our last two projects continue the party theme and include ways to carry your favorite beverage to a gathering or event. So we're going to start first with a quick and easy project, flipping out. This fun-to-make pattern includes instructions for bags in 2 sizes. The small is perfect to carry a small bottle of water, and the insulative qualities of soft and stable will help keep it cool. So I've got a bottle of water in here. I put this in the freezer overnight. It's been sitting out for about 6 hours, and as you can see, there is still ice inside and it's nice and cool. The other great thing is there's no condensation all over my counter because the soft and stable keeps that inside. So the small one, this one is actually a little bit tight for a bottle of this size. I had another small bottle, which is what I usually carry in here, and that one fits a lot better. So you might want to test the measurement of the size water bottle that you usually carry. If you're going to make one of these, it wouldn't be hard at all to make this, you know, 1/2 inch to 1 inch taller. It wouldn't change any of the math. The only thing it would change is the length of the zipper, but you've got plenty of zipper length when you use a 30-inch zipper for this, and a 24-inch for this. The pattern says, okay, so if Gloria's telling me that it says 24, so depending on how much you add, you may need to use a larger zipper. So keep that in mind. But if you want to add to the height, easy to do. Adding to the width is not as easy because it changes the dimensions of the circle on the bottom. So I would only add to the height if you do that. I wanted to include a picture of a small flipping out that Billy sent us last summer. And Billy said, like so many, we had travel plans we had to cancel due to COVID. I decided to start making bags to take us when we could finally travel to those places. We are making the best of our staycations this summer by enjoying our yard and dreaming of future trips. And I thought that is really the spirit to have, Billy, and your bags are beautiful, and I hope you got to make that trip to Hawaii. I saw your Hawaii guidebook sitting there. So hopefully you've been there and are able to enjoy that beautiful state as well. The large flipping out is useful for so many projects, including carrying a single bottle of wine or other beverage. And I wanted to show you, Jake had this great big tall bottle of water, and it fits perfectly inside there. So Deanne sent us some pictures of a beautiful set of flipping out bags that she made, and I especially enjoyed the embroidery that Deanne added to the black bag. And she said, I wanted a wine carrier that is easy enough to make and gift. Flipping out fills that bill. And using a 40-inch zipper, you can make 2 of them. I really love these poppies, so I found an embroidery pattern also featuring a poppy. However, instead of the stem saying happiness, it said brave. I used a software that I had and changed the stem, merging 2 patterns. I thought that was really brilliant. I also used my new circle ruler to quilt it. I think it turned out great, and it was great practice for me. After they were all done, we took off to the new park they created not far from our home for the photo shoot. Then we enjoyed the spoils. That is such a great story, and those are just beautiful bags. They will make great gifts for someone special. Here is another flipping out with an awesome extra, a carrying strap. Michelle said on a recent episode, flipping out was mentioned as a wine holder. Since I wanted to make one for a friend, I added the shoulder strap for her to bring a bottle when out and about. I loved that idea, and I think it turned out really fabulous. And from what I can see, Michelle just added a tab with a D-ring in the middle here at the top and at the bottom, and then attached a strap to those rings. So that would be a really easy modification to make to this pattern, and you could use our free pattern for the carrying strap and pad to make the strap. And I'd suggest making the 1-inch size. The pad could be added or not. It's up to you. You'll find that pattern and its free add-on video at our website, ByAnnie.com. Just search for carrying strap and pad, and you'll find both the pattern and the add-on video for that. Got about 4 bottles of water started here today. It's not nearly as hot in here as it was last week. We are down to the mid-hundreds today instead of the 114 that we had last week. So it's amazing what a difference a few degrees make. All right, we're down to our last project today, which is another one of my very favorites. I'll drink to that. We designed this bag at the request of customers who wanted to carry a bottle of wine and some glasses to dinner with friends, quilt retreats, picnics, and so forth. It may be also used to carry other types of beverages or crackers, snacks, and more. It would even work for knitting needles and yarn. So let me show you some of its features. First of all, there are 2 options for carrying the bag: a padded handle on top and an adjustable detachable carrying strap. So the strap can be used when you want to carry it. It can also come off, and you can stick it in one of the pockets. There are also 2 zippered pockets on the bag, so you can see them differently depending on whether the bag is full or empty. So there's one that's on the flap, and this is a pocket that's perfect for keys and things like that. And there's also a larger pocket on the bottom. So this is a good place to put a small corkscrew, some napkins, your phone, or to stick the strap when you're not using it. The zippered flap opens at the top so that you can easily get into the inside of the bag. So we're going to take out some of these things. Inside the bag is an awesome padded inner divider that's made of soft and stable, and it separates and cushions bottles and glasses, so everything is safe and secure, and as you can notice, nothing's clanging against each other and breaking. So we've got room in here for up to 4 bottles of wine, or a couple of bottles of wine and 4 glasses. So plenty for a party. The inner divider has, again, 4 sections that you can put up to 4 bottles of wine. But the beauty of this is that you can close some of those sections if you don't need them all. So let's say you only want it to take 2 bottles of wine, or 1 bottle of wine and a couple of glasses. You can do that, you can insert it in there, and you've still got the whole front of this to put sandwiches, fruit, chips, cheese, all those extra items. If you don't think you'd ever use this as a beverage carrier, you could skip this entirely and then use the bag for carrying knitting needles, yarn, or a variety of other items. We like to put a base stabilizer in the base of the bag, and the pattern includes instructions to make this fabric sleeve. We use a piece of Plascolite that we cut to go inside here, and that makes it easy to remove that and throw everything in the wash if you need to launder it. So once you're done, that base stabilizer pushes firmly into the base of the bag and gives it a nice firm foundation that also helps hold the bag open. The inner divider is also designed so that it will fall flat or fold flat when it's not in use. So if you're not going to have stuff in here, I usually stand the base stabilizer up against the back. I put the inner divider against that, and then that makes it easy to fold it flat and put it away. There are special stitched lines on the side of the bag that encourage it to fold easily, and there are magnetic snaps on the flap and the bag front that help it close. Pictures of I'll Drink to That have been really popular in our monthly photo contest, and so I wanted to share some of those with you. Susan sent a picture of the awesome bag she made for her son, and she said, "My son is an assistant teaching professor at the University of Washington, Tacoma. He's also an avid Huskies fan. He brings his lunch every day when not online due to COVID. The bag is large enough for his lunch, snacks, and bottles of water or juice. I had never attempted a bag this complicated, but the videos and directions were fantastic." We also loved the pictures submitted by Joanne of the bag she made using Seattle Seahawks fabrics. That bag will be perfect for tailgating parties. Cynthia also submitted a beautiful series of photos of the bag that she made. Cynthia said, "We live near the Finger Lakes region in New York State and visit the wineries often, making a picnic with cheese, meats, artisan breads, and the wine we have purchased that day. When I saw this oh-so-cute tote, I just had to make it. I added a pad for the carrying strap as wine can get heavy. I am a novice at this, so with each ByAnnie pattern I make, I try to find the ones that get more and more complicated, improving my sewing skills. Of course, I had to complicate things by choosing a directional fabric for the main body. I love how this turned out, and I can't wait to show it off." First of all, I have to say, lucky Cynthia. The Finger Lakes region of New York is so beautiful, and that just all sounds so delightful. I really loved her idea of adding the pad to the shoulder strap, and I'm sure that everyone who saw her bag was really impressed. So we want to wish happy picnicking to Cynthia and to all of you. Let's go now to some techniques for I'll Drink to That. I thought you'd enjoy seeing a few step outs of how this bag is assembled to give you an idea of how it goes together. As usual, I think you're going to be surprised to see how easy it is to make this fun bag. So let me clear off some space here and grab those. Okay, so as with all ByAnnie patterns, the first thing you're going to do is get everything cut out and labeled, and then you're going to quilt a couple of sets of fabric. From those, you're going to cut the pieces for your bag, which in this case is the front of the bag, the sides, which also form the bottom of the bag, and the back, which also forms the flap, and then a couple of pockets. So not too terribly many pieces for this project. Then you're going to start preparing the components. That includes making the bias binding, making the carrying strap and attaching the hardware to make it detachable and adjustable, making the hardware tabs, which go on the side of the bag and are used for attaching the carrying strap, and some side straps, which are used just to cover the raw edges of those, and the padded handle. And the padded handle is made by folding a piece of fabric, putting a piece of soft and stable in, folding it in half, and stitching down the edges. So super simple and easy. Next, you're going to prepare the pockets and the stabilizer cover. So the first pocket you're going to work on is this bottom pocket, and that involves attaching a border to it, adding a zipper, and then binding the top edge of the zipper. Right there? Should I lay them down, Jake, or stand them up? Standing them up's okay? All right. So that's the front pocket. Then you're going to do the pocket that goes on the flap, and that's even easier. It just is attach a zipper and bind the upper edge as you did here. That gets your pockets all ready to go. Your next step is to make the stabilizer cover. And for that, you're just going to turn the raw edges under to finish them, sew a seam down the middle, center that, sew across the bottom, and turn it right side out. Next, you're going to prepare the inner divider. And this involves first preparing 6 divider walls. The add-on video covers this steps, and it includes some great tips to make it really easy. Once the walls are made, you're going to stitch fold lines on some of these. These are really helpful for opening and closing the divider. And remember, as we said, if you want soft and stable to fold somewhere, you just stitch a line there, and that makes a really crisp fold. So after you get those done, you are going to take 2 of those and join them down the middle. And this is going to make what becomes the center of the inner divider. After that's done, you'll notice that we've got labels on all of these. You're going to, I thought I saw, oh, I don't, those aren't labeled, but you'll follow the order that the pattern tells you, and you'll start attaching one to each side. So you're just going to position that there and stitch it, the next one and stitch it, and work your way all the way around until you have what looks like this. So you've got sections that will open up, and you've got a really nice padded divider to hold all your bottles of wine. I really think the design of this is ingenious. It took us a long time to figure this out. I went through many iterations of this before I came up with this design, but I love how well it folds and how well it opens to hold glasses and bottles, and I see other versions of this coming out in future patterns. I think it would be great for holding really things that you want to keep special, you know, special ornaments or little knickknacks and things. So if you've got ideas for how you could use that, share them with us in the comments. All right, so once you've got that done, you've got all the components made, and now you're ready to start putting the bag together. So the first thing you'll do is prepare the bag front, and that involves attaching some magnets so that the flap can close. You're going to add a border over that to make them strong and sturdy and prolong wear. It also adds some interest to the bag, and then you'll attach pocket A at the bottom. Once that's done, you will round the corners, and that's going to just make it a lot easier to sew the bag together. Next, you're going to prepare the bag back flap. This is what forms the back of the bag and also folds over to the front to make the flap. This involves stitching some magnets on the lining side and covering those with an interfaced facing, and then attaching pocket B. You're going to then round the corners on the flap end of the bag. Next, you'll attach the padded handle. I think I've got one here nope, that's the side. You'll attach the padded handle, and then you'll round the bottom corners and mark the centers of the bag at the top and bottom. This is going to be really helpful when it's time to assemble the bag, and the pattern's going to remind you to do that. Once the bag front and back are done, then you're going to prepare the sides and bottom. So this is one piece that goes all the way around and forms the two sides and the bottom of the bag. So you'll start by marking and stitching those fold lines that help it fold, and then you'll attach the little hardware tabs with the D-rings and the side strips, and those are used to attach the handle when the bag is finished. Then you're ready to join the bag front to the bag side and bottom. And that is pretty simple. We've got, again, our centers marked, and we're going to match those up and sew that together. As usual, this is going to be way easier if you sew with whatever piece has the rounded edges against the bed of the machine. So in this case, this is the bag front. The piece that has to conform to those curves, which is the side and bottom, which doesn't have any curves, is going to be on top. So you're going to sew with this down, you're going to have this up in the air, and that's going to make it really easy when you get to these corners to smooth it out and not sew any wrinkles or creases in that. Once those two pieces are joined, you're going to bind the side and bottom edges. And our next step will be to bind the top edge and attach a zipper. And the add-on video for the project includes lots of tips for doing that. After that's done, you're going to attach the bag back and flap and bind its edges. And again, the add-on video has tips for that, and also how to attach the zipper and do the final binding. Then your bag will be done. You'll insert a base stabilizer into the stabilizer cover, push it in the bottom of the bag, insert the prepared inner divider, attach the strap, and you will be ready to go. So as you can see, it's an easy project to put together, and the add-on video is going to be especially helpful to you as you do that zipper. That's a really unique process. We don't have any other pattern that uses a zipper like that, so the add-on video is really helpful for that step. I hope you enjoyed seeing these projects today and that you've been inspired to make a project or more for your next picnic, party, or potluck. To make these projects, you are going to need some core ByAnnie products. Let me move this out of the way and we will run through some of those. If you've made lots of ByAnnie products or patterns, these are going to be very familiar to you. But we often have viewers watching who've never made a ByAnnie project, so these are really things that we use in all of our patterns, and you're going to want to know about them. So the first and most important item is ByAnnie Soft and Stable. We quilt this or sew it between the main and lining fabrics, and it's what makes your bag stand up and hold its shape. So if you're quilting, you treat it just like batting. If you're not quilting, as we did on the Grab Some Grub, you just sew around the outside edges. Every project that I showed you today can be made with a yard or less of Soft and Stable. It comes in black or white, so you can pick either one. If you're planning to make more than one of these projects, I'd recommend that you get a 2-yard package of Soft and Stable because you'll save some money and you'll also get better use of the product. I'm going to bring this whole box up here. So the next important item that you're going to need are zippers, and we use handbag zippers for all of our projects. These are used for the pockets and closures on the bags, and what sets a handbag zipper apart from another zipper is they are number 4.5 zippers, so they're wider than a regular, say, dress or skirt zipper. They're nylon coil, they have extra large pulls. It makes them really easy to install, and they give you really long-lasting wear. And we have these in 4 different styles and up to 48 different colors. If you're making very many of these projects, I would recommend getting a zippers by the yard because it's the most cost-effective inch by inch, and it's going to give you the most flexibility. If your bag or purse has a handle or strap on it. You're also going to need some strapping. This is polypro strapping, and we insert it into fabric to make handles and straps for our bags. So we carry it only in black and white because we always cover it with fabric, and it makes them really strong and sturdy. And then of course you need some hardware to attach to those to make your bags adjustable and be able to attach them. Then depending on the project, you may also need some ByAnnie's lightweight mesh and fold over elastic. These come in 14 fun colors, and it's always fun to mix and match. So you might decide to use Tahiti mesh with turquoise fold over to add some interest to your project. If you don't already have our mesh color sample pack, we highly recommend that you get one of these. You can find it on our website because it makes it really easy to audition the colors to match your project. You're going to notice that, for instance, when you look at this piece of mesh compared to this, it's a very different look when you're looking at just a single layer compared to all the layers folded up into a package. So this makes it really easy to audition all the colors at once and find the perfect one to match your project. All right, the other thing that you're going to need is a sewing machine. We recommend one with a good 1/4 inch foot and the needle down capability. And here are some other important tools that you use when you make our bags. So first of all, a rotary cutter, a quilter's ruler, and a cutting mat. ByAnnie patterns are written from the perspective of a quilter, and we don't normally include templates and actual paper pattern pieces. We think this makes everything quicker and more accurate. And of course, if it's a piece that needs a template, for instance, the inner divider, and I'll drink to that, we do include that in the pattern. You also won't want to sew our patterns without a ByAnnie stiletto and pressing tool. This is in my hand all the time when I'm sewing. It's especially helpful when you're joining pieces and attaching bindings. Another really helpful tool is a quick turn tool, and we use this for turning the fabric tubes that we use for making handles and straps. A bodkin is especially helpful, and this is our favorite one. It's made by Clover. It's a clip and glide bodkin, and it's used for pulling strapping into the handles. And last but not least are the Creative Grid circle rulers. So these come in sizes from 2.5 to 6.5, and they're especially helpful when you want to round corners. It's also really important that you use the circle that the pattern calls for, because all of the math, for instance, if you're joining the front to the side strip, whatever dimension this is has to match the dimension of that long strip. And if you pull a different size circle out of the cupboard to round the corners, you're going to be cutting away a different amount and your pieces may not fit. So these are really helpful if you make very many ByAnnie bags. You'll find that we use all the sizes in our patterns. Remember that all ByAnnie patterns include step-by-step instructions along with helpful illustrations, cutting layouts, and handy labels to label the pieces as you cut. You'll also love the checkboxes for each step that help you keep track of where you are in the process. And some of these patterns, Grab Some Grub, Petit for Baskets, Flippin' Out, and I'll Drink to That, also include add-on videos to help you with the more unique or challenging aspects of the project. So when you purchase those paper patterns, you're going to receive a coupon in the pattern that entitles you to get the add-on video for that project free. So we recommend that you wait until you've received the pattern so that you can use the code in the pattern to purchase the add-on video at no charge. And as always, please look for the pattern and supplies for these projects at your local quilt shops. They are the lifeblood of our communities, and we all want to keep them in business. If your local quilt shop doesn't have the pattern or supplies that you want, they can certainly get them for you, either from us or from their favorite distributor. And of course, if you don't have a local quilt shop, you'll find all the patterns and supplies at ByAnnie.com. We don't carry fabric, but we carry most everything else that you need to make our projects. Any of the projects that we showcased today would make a great summer sewing project, so get your supplies gathered and start sewing. And then don't forget to send us pictures of your finished projects. We love to see what you make, and you can win a $50 shopping spree at ByAnnie if you enter our monthly photo contest. Lots of the pictures that I showed today were entries in our photo contest, and so even if you don't win, you can get some exposure and share what you've made with everyone else. It's always fun to see how other people interpret the patterns and modify them. And you will find all the information about the photo contest at our website. Trevor posted some questions up here. A refresher on the banner, any helpful details like length at the base of each triangle. Okay, so let me find where I stuck it. I have to admit that this is a project I made a long time ago, and I had to really think when I got ready to do today's how we made it. But these particular triangles are, looks like 6 inches at the top. They're about 9 inches tall, and they go together really easy. So the ruler that I used is one made by Studio 180. It's a rapid fire Lemoyne star. I don't know that this is exactly what we used because it doesn't fit perfectly. Actually, it fits pretty good. And I just took that ruler and put a piece of tape across the top to know where I would stop. But you know, you could certainly make these rectangular. You could use your circle ruler and make them circular, although they might be a little more hard to join up here. There's any variety of ways that you could make them. But again, this is the ruler that I used. Let me see if I can tell you what angle this is. This looks like a 60-degree angle right here. So you could probably even use the lines on your cutting mat to line your fabric up, or make yourself a plastic template. But hopefully that's helpful. If you need a refresher on the steps, know that our video is available on Facebook, YouTube, and on our website, so you can always go and watch that again. Just fast forward past the parts you don't want to see until you get to the part about the banner. And the information for doing the fusible thread, in addition to being there, I think we have some tutorials for that on our website too. As we said last week, one of our favorite events each year is our local quilt shop contest. We host that every February, and it encourages sewists to vote for their favorite quilt shop and share a little bit about what makes them special. So to continue the fun and support of local businesses, we are going to highlight a store each week and share some of their voter submissions during our Live with Annie. So this week we're taking a quick jaunt around the world to Queensland, Australia, to highlight Fifi's Fabricology in the city of Burleigh Heights. She's such a great store. I really enjoyed teaching at Fifi's on my trip to Australia in 2018, and I really enjoyed getting to know Fiona and her wonderful team. Their customers had much to say about their wide selection and high quality fabrics, and I can attest to that. I have never seen so many Kaffe and Tula fabrics in one place. Many customers directly expressed their great appreciation for Kelly, who teaches many of the ByAnnie bag classes at the store. I enjoyed meeting Kelly and seeing her beautiful work. So you are in good hands with Fifi's and Kelly. Kim said, I can buy most ByAnnie bag materials there. Everything from patterns to soft and stable, they've got it all. She also mentioned how impressed she was when the staff helped her pick the perfect materials to match her upcoming project, for which she was using Tula Pink's homemade fabric line. Due to COVID, they had to do everything over the phone, but she said it all worked perfectly. In other Australian news, I was really sorry to learn this morning that the Sydney Quilt Show that was scheduled to start this coming week has been postponed to September due to new COVID restrictions. We really send hugs and good wishes to all of our friends across Australia and hope that you all stay safe. We want to thank you again so much for joining us this week. We know there are lots of ways that you can spend your time, and it really means a lot that you choose to join us each week. So to say thank you, we have a really special giveaway this week. One lucky winner is going to win the I'll Drink to That pattern. along with the hardware or strapping, which is a 3-yard package, and all the hardware to make the carrying strap for the bag. So that includes some D-rings, some sliders, some swivel hooks, and also the magnets to close the flap. So you can choose between antique brass, black metal, or nickel for the hardware, and black or white for the strapping. Just let Trevor know which you prefer when he reaches out to let you know that you're the winner. So here's what you have to do to win, and remember that you have to do this on Facebook. It doesn't work on YouTube or on our live page.
I'm sorry to interrupt. So because Facebook was down today when we went live, we're going to post the video afterwards, and that's where you're going to want to comment.
Okay.
Today.
So Trevor said that Facebook was down today when we went live, so they are going to post the video on our page, and that's where you're going to want to go comment. That's where he'll be looking to pick winners. So go to, again, ByAnnie.com/live and add your comment there.
Sorry,
on our Facebook page. Sorry. Yeah, well, I'll get there. All right, so skip what I just said. Go to our Facebook page and make sure that that's where you're commenting. So you can say whatever you want in that comment. Hopefully you'll say something positive and nice. Tell us what you learned today, which of the patterns we showcased today you want to make next, and whether you're going to make it for yourself or someone special. Maybe give us some ideas of other ways you would use the patterns we showed today. Then tag a friend. We really want to spread the word about our weekly Facebook Lives, so please share with someone who you think would enjoy these presentations. And to do that, you just type the @ symbol followed by their Facebook name. A picture of them and their name will pop up so you can confirm that you have the right person. If it is, click on it, add your comment, and submit. We will pick winners from comments made by midnight Mountain Time tonight, which is about 9 more hours. And so you've got time to watch and comment. And then finally, remember to check your Facebook messages, because Trevor will notify our winner and ask you to email your shipping address. And again, you can let him know what color of hardware and strapping you prefer when he does that. So thank you again to everyone who joined us today. We will be back next week at 2 p.m. Mountain Time, and we are going to talk about running with scissors, take a stand, and the patterns that inspired those. So until then, happy stitching and enjoy your week.